For this video, I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about working in the timeline. The timeline is a series of tracks, video and audio tracks, which link together to make your sequence. Most of the time, your video is going to be linked to some sort of audio track. Now you can unlink it, and there are a couple ways to do that. One of them is to go up to these menu items right up here that are highlighted in blue and click off this linked selection button, and then simply click off and click back on where I'm just highlighting either the video or just the audio. I can hit delete on the keyboard and take that audio out. I can move the video independently of that. It allows you to figure out what it is that you want. Sometimes you're just going to want the video, sometimes you're going to want just the audio, sometimes you'll want both and you'll want them linked together. I'm going to hit Control-Z on my keyboard to undo what I just did, and I'm going to click this back. Having this highlighted blue makes sure that whenever I click on something, it clicks on both linked items simultaneously, making it a lot easier to work with. The icons for the track also set parameters just similar to that. There is a lock button which lets you lock a track so that it cannot be edited under any circumstances in any way to protect it. If you have something done perfectly right and you don't want to mess with it, you can lock a track. You can also toggle a sync lock off, which allows you to, again, similar to the linked selection, it allows you to edit a part of the video and have it not affect all the other parts after it. You can hide a video track or mute an audio track if you want to as well with these icons. When working in the timeline, you're basically going to want to be able to do three things. You're going to want to be able to rearrange clips, to trim them, and to physically just cut them out if you don't need them. For rearranging, if you look here on my timeline, I have two clips that are in the wrong order. The clip after it is really what happens before the clip that was before it in the timeline as I'm scrubbing along. If I wanted to rearrange this and I simply grab this clip and drag it over to the front of the other clip and let go, it actually overwrote and deleted the first clip, and that's not really what I want to do. So I'm going to hit Control-Z here. If you want to do an insert edit and not an overwrite edit, and those are vocabulary terms that Adobe Premiere uses, you want to hold Control while doing this. By doing that, you'll see that it moved the previous clip in front of the clip that should be after it, and then it slipped that other clip back. So now I have this in a much more readable sequence. So holding Control and remembering to do that is really important. The other thing that I wanted you to note when I did that is that I have right now set an option called Snap. And that's up here again on these blue icons at the top. Snap is really important because what it will do is it will purposefully snap whatever I'm working to exactly in between the clips, right to the front of the previous clip, and so I know that I'm not having any gaps in my timing. To trim a clip, there's a number of ways that you can do this. If I, for instance, with this clip, don't really like how long it's taking, I can simply use the arrow selection tool and move to the end of that clip, and when I get this red arrow highlighted, I can move this back a little less in time and let go of it. Now, the problem with doing that is that it leaves this gap right here in between the clip I had and the clip that was back there. What I want to do is I want to move that back and have this clip stick back to it. And to do that, I'm going to hit Control-Z. I'm going to hold Control yet again. What you notice that happened here is what's called a slip edit. Now what happened was I dragged a little less time off of this clip here, but it added time to the clip behind it. And it does that so that it maintains the finished duration of the last clip, so that you can slip where that cut ends before and after. Now again, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. I want to take away time from this clip and not have any time added to the previous one. So what I want to do is go over to my my tools on the left of my timeline and find the one that's called the Ripple Edit tool. Click and highlight it, and you'll notice it's now a yellow icon, that when I bring this one back and I let go, it shortened the first clip and ripple edited, which means it's going to drag the next clip and all other clips in my sequence. It's going to drag it over back so that they all line up and there's no gaps in anything.